Enforce this, bitch. Oh. Hello, and in this video we'll be looking at the Enforcers for Deadzone 3rd edition. So the Enforcers are, for want of a better term, realistic Space Marines. What do I mean by that? Well, most of you who watch these videos or any other videos wanting to know about this fabulous game will undoubtedly know about Games Workshop stuff. And you'll know what Space Marines are. The Enforcers are basically Space Marines if you could take them seriously. Not just from a case of a model perspective, but also a background perspective, just all in general. You look at a Enforcer, you could tell he means business. You look at a Space Marine, he looks awesome, but stupidly awesome. But yeah, but that's the thing with Deadzone. It's a lot more grounded, I suppose you could say, for want of a better term. I suppose a lot of Mantic stuff is a lot more grounded, I suppose. But there we go. The Enforcers are part of the Council of Seven's personal army, which the Council of Seven are in charge of the GCPS, or the Global Prosperity, Global, let me check the book. The Galactic Co-Prosperity Sphere, that's what GCPS stands for, and they're just basically essentially all worlds which are controlled by corporations, and they've got their own armies, which is the GCPS. The Enforcers are called in when something's either too much for the GCPS, or if the GCPS forces are getting a bit too much out of hand, or if there's a problem that they can't fix. For example, there might be a big plague outbreak, or the vermin might be getting out of hand, or indeed many of the other races might be becoming a bit too bold. That is where the Enforcers come in, and they mean business. They are an elite fighting force that does not care about you. They will shut you down no matter what you do. They like to wear similar sorts of uniforms, unless you've got Pathfinders, which they're lighter armoured and whatnot. So, if you're following along, you'll need to either start on page 18 if you want the fluff armour and a nice picture, or just to get the army lift if you're not bothered about the fluff, which is a shame, but fair enough, I guess. You want to start on page 20. The first leader is the Pathfinder Sergeant. Speed 1-2, range of 4, fight of 5, survival 4, no armour, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Recon 3+, Scout and Tactician 1. The splat is Target Acquisition, a model with a tag weapon, so that's tag pistols and tag rifles, may gain an extra die or wait to fire 3 for a shoot action. You must choose before rolling any dice. That's brilliant. It's really good because tag weapons essentially don't do anything. That's why Pathfinder is a lot cheaper now, which is unfortunate, but it makes them a lot simpler. Extra dice or wait to fire 3. Essentially, you are getting to re-roll all your dice, which is nice. or if you get any 8s, you get re-rolls on the extra dice you get, which is nice. Or you get an extra dice, so you get 4 dice for shooting, which again is nice. Weapons, you've got 3 options. You've got the tag rifle, which is range 6, worth 2 victory points and costs 22 points. You've got the shotgun, which is range 3, has knockback, worth 2 victory points and is 20 points. And then we've got the tag pistol, which is range 3, worth 2 victory points and costs 20 points. Now, for me, I would go for the tag rifle. Yes, it's 2 points more than the other 2 options, but it's the same victory points and it's range 6. You kind of want to have the enemies at arm's length with Pathfinders because they are pretty poor in close combat. They are potentially the worst models in an enforcer list to take for close combat capabilities. If you come across, say, a VM list or a Nameless or a Plague list and you're taking a lot of Pathfinders, you better keep them at range, otherwise you are dead. No if, no buts. Not a bad leader, but if you're not taking a fair few Pathfinders, you're not going to find much use for the Pathfinder Sergeant. A recon of 3 will mean you've got more choice for the recon roll and you've got more advantage, but apart from that, don't bother unless you take Pathfinders. Next we have the Enforcer Sergeant. Move of 1-2, range of 4, fight of 4, survive of 4. Arm 1, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Jump pack, recon 4+, and tactician 1. Splat is mobile infantry. The active model may make a free sprint action or advance action as if it has a jump pack. The model may not take a second sprint action or an advance action this activation. So what has been gathered, or it could be FAQ'd, put in the comments below, you can use a move command dice because that is not a move action as such. You're using the dice, but do put it in the comments below if I'm wrong on that or if you think I'm wrong. It's nice, it just means you get an extra mobility. If you've got a sniper or a missile launcher or something and you want that sniper rifle to go off, great. Then again, free spin traction, so you couldn't use the sniper scope. Yeah, it won't work on snipers. It's still good though if you want to get closer to objectives, or if you want to get closer to an enemy with a certain weapon, such as a flamer type weapon. It has a lot of uses. It gets you where you need to be a lot quicker and gives you a lot more options. Weapon options, you've got 3. You've got an energy gauntlet, which is close combat weapon has knockback, and you've got a pistol, which is range 3. That's worth 2 victory points and costs 26 points. You've then got a laser rifle, which is range 6, rapid fire, worth 2 victory points and costs 26 points. You've then got a wrist blade, which is a close combat weapon, AP1, and a pistol, which is range 3, worth 2 victory points and costs 26 points. Now, in 2nd edition, the Enforcer Sergeant was one of the main ones people went for because of that sprint. I don't see that changing that much. Although there is reasons to take the other ones, I can see the Enforcer Sergeant being the main one because that splat is so useful. It's not even funny. The Enforcer Sergeant itself is also a really good combatant. Falls across the board for stats. You could take it with a rifle, so you've got a bit of range for shooting. You could take a wrist blade and a pistol for a bit of close combat capabilities. I really wouldn't bother with the energy gauntlet and the pistol, reason being that knocking back, I've not found it all that useful. I can see why it's useful, because if there's a wall you get to knock them into it, cause them damage, or if they're high up, knock them down and make them fall down. But you kind of want to get some anti-armor capabilities, and the wrist blade has that. I mean, they're all 26 points. I'd go for the wrist blade and pistol or laser rifle. I won't go for either one. Enforcer Sergeant's really good. Next we have the Enforcer Captain. Speed 1-2, range 4, fight 4, survival 4. Armor 1, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Jump pack, recon 4 plus, tactician 2. The splat is called Stalwart. Spend a special order, which is splat, to immediately reroll any number of your dice in the survive test, which is nice, gives you a bit of support. It's not quite as good, I think, as the Enforcer Sergeant splat, but you know, with a tactician of 2, it kind of makes up for that, and having the rerolls of survive is never a bad thing. You've got 2 weapon options for the captain. I don't know why it's not 3, but hey ho. Energy Gauntlet, which is a close combat weapon, which has knockback, and a pistol, which is range 3, worth 3 victory points and 32 points. Laser Rifle, range 6 rapid fire, 3 victory points and worth 32 points. No idea why there isn't a pistol and wrist blade. I'd have thought there would have been, but hey ho, it is what it is, I guess. The Enforcer Captain's not bad. It's 6 points higher than the Enforcer Sergeant, and you are essentially getting a different variation on the splat and an extra pip of tactician. Is that worth the 6 extra points? You decide. For me, but the Enforcer Captain isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the amount of options the Enforcer Sergeant gives you still trumps it at present. But we've got one more leader option. It is the Peacekeeper Captain. Speed of 1-2, range 4, fight 4, survive 3. Armor 2, 2 hit points, size 2, 40mm base. Has a jump pack, recon 4 plus, solid and tactician 2. Splat is Bastion. Add +1 armor and gain resilient 1 to a model for a single survive roll. You must declare to use this special order, which is a splat, that's what they're calling them. They're calling splat special orders now. Before any dice are rolled for the shoot or fight attack. A maximum of 1 special order can be used per roll. So that's pretty decent. It's kind of like the Enforcer Captain's one, but in a different direction, I guess. +1 armor. Actually, the splat not be that useful, actually, considering how many troops you can take which have good anti-armor capabilities. Not that much use. The resilience one allows you to reroll 1. It's essentially a weaker version of the Enforcer Captain splat. That's what it is, essentially. So, weapon options, you've got a choice of 2. We've got the Wrist Blade, which is close combat weapon AP1, and Dominator Rifle, which is range 6, rapid fire, weight fire 1, costs 4 victory points and worth 36 points. Phase Claws, which is close combat weapon, it has AP2, Frenzy 1 with 4 victory points and 36 points. I think the reason you take the Peacekeeper Captain isn't because of the splat. Honestly, you take the Peacekeeper Captain because A, the model looks pretty decent, and that of the combat capabilities. The Enforcer Captain in just normal Enforcer armour, the splat is much better than the Peacekeeper Captain, but the stats and weapon options aren't as good. I mean, with the Peacekeeper Captain, you're getting a good range weapon and a good close combat weapon, or a pair of good close combat weapons. Pick your poison, really. 4 points more. What are you getting for them 4 points extra? You're getting a worse but still usable splat. You're getting 1 pip better in survive. You're getting 1 pip better in armor. You're bigger on size. You've got solid, and you've got better weapons for 4 points extra. If you're just going for the Enforcer Captain and the Peacekeeper Captain, I couldn't really tell you which one's better because they both have pros and cons. Honestly, the Enforcer Sergeant is my best one, but the Peacekeeper Captain and the Enforcer Captain, I'm not sure which one's better. They both very close for second. The Pathfinder Sergeant is good if you're taking a load of Pathfinders. If not, kinda pointless. So next is the Troops and Specialists, starting on page 21. Starting with the Enforcer Operative. Speed of 1-2, range 4, fighter 5, survivor 4. 1 armour, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Comes with the jump pack. So you've got the basic Troop Enforcer. There's 3 variants, which laser rifle, range 6 rapid fire, incinerator. Sorry, the laser rifle, range 6 rapid fire, 2 victory points and with 16 points. The incinerator, which is range 2, it burns with 2 victory points and 16 points. The thermal rifle, which is range 4, AP2, 2 victory points and 18 points. In that you've got the laser rifle, which is basic as all hell. You've got the incinerator, which is short range but it burns things, and things burn on 4s. So unless you're really good at surviving or fairly decent, if you need 4s or higher, you're not a bit bad. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. And then you've got the thermal rifle, which is a bit short range, but AP2 meant for mid to high level armoured targets. Could potentially hurt Strider, and for 18 points that is going to hurt it more than it is going to hurt you, because I'd imagine the Strider's going to kill the Enforcer but you've done a bit of damage in the meantime. And then we've got the Specialist normal Enforcers. You've got the Burst Laser, which is range 8, suppression, weight fire 1, 3 victory points and 18 points. You've got the Missile Launcher, which is range 8, AP 5, heavy, 3 victory points and 22 points. You've then got the Sniper Scope, which is range 10, Sniper Scope, 3 victory points and 24 points. So in that, the Specialists have got pretty good range. The Missile Launcher is like the thermal rifle, just with long range and better AP. But it is heavy, so you can't move and shoot with it. You've got the Burst Laser, which is for suppression, and if you've got some close combat models in your force, can help with that. You've then got Sniper Rifle, which, if you don't move and you want to shoot with it, gives you extra dice, which is nice. You can still move and shoot with it, but Sniper Scope gives you more dice if you don't move with it. But it hasn't got an AP, so if you want something that's got good mobility and got the option to have a low dice, Sniper Rifle, sorry. If you want some suppression option, Burst Laser. If you want something that's good against armour, Missile Launcher. Next we have the Engineer, which is a Specialist. There's just 2 weapon options. There's the Pistol, which is range 3. Hacker, Engineer, Dismantle, with 2 victory points and 15 points. Or the Laser Rifle, which is range 6, has Rapid Fire, Hacker, Engineer and Dismantle, 2 points and 2 victory points and worth 17 points. Engineer is only good if you take in any sort of drone, sentry gun in this case, sorry. Other than that, seems a bit pointless. Well, I suppose there's some missions where hacking is going to be useful. Plus you've got Dismantle, which against vehicles of all strides and constructs, that's going to be very effective. I suppose if you're against Asterians, that's going to be really good. Yeah, just go with a Laser Rifle. It's only 2 points more than normal Enforcer. Well, 1 point more actually. So, yeah, might as well. And then we have the Medic, which is a Specialist. Comes with a pistol, range 3, Medic. 2 victory points and 15 points. Slightly cheaper than Enforcer, but then again, you just got pistol. Medic's not bad. Give you a bit of healing, which, nothing wrong with that. Your short range for shooting, which, shame you haven't got rifle options, but hey ho. Normal Enforcer is going to be your backbone in force. essentially you probably want 2 or 3 depending on what points game you're playing, and maybe 1, maybe 2 incinerators, because burning things is going to be so good in this version. A thermal rifle, I can see the point because it's a troop. Range 4 is short, but AP2, that is going to hurt. That is going to hurt. Burst lasers, suppression weapons are always great. No matter what it is, they're always going to be helpful. Missile launcher, your problem is you can't move and shoot with it. And sniper rifle, you can't move and shoot to get the full effects of it. But unless you reckon you're going to be in a mission where you're going to need hacking or the sentry guns, the engineer's not going to be much use, I don't feel. The medic, post in comments below if you've ever used a medic. I've never seen anyone use one. I've got one, I just not see the point myself. So next we have the assault enforcers. Speed 1-2, range 5, fight 4, survive 4, arm 1, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Comes with a jump pack. So the assault enforcer, you've got 2 troop options. You've got the wrist blade, which is close combat weapon AP1, and you've got the pistol, which is range 3. That's worth 1 victory point and 14 points. Or you've got the phase claws, which is close combat weapon AP2 and frenzy 1, with 2 victory points and 17 points. So it's either 2 points less than a normal enforcer and 1 victory point less, or 1 point more than a normal enforcer. Both are viable because the wrist blade at least gives AP still. The phase claws is good against medium armoured targets and gives frenzy, and it's only 1 point more than a standard enforcer. That's not bad. Then we've got the breach and eradicate enforcer. The troop option is thermal mines, which is close combat weapon AP3, and pistol, which is range 3. That's worth 2 victory points and 17 points. Which isn't bad, it's just kind of like the phase claws, except it's got higher AP, it's got a pistol, and no frenzy. I can see the point in that. But the phase claws are troops. That's not to say it trumps it by any stretch of the imagination. It don't. But if you want your options before you're taking specialists, I'll go with phase claws over the thermal mines any day because it opens things up for your army selection. The specialist is the one with the fusion gun. Range 4, explosive frag 3, 2 victory points, and worth 20 points. Fusion gun's not bad. It's not bad at all. Your main weakness, I suppose, with a fusion gun is you need fires if you can't see the target, so the explosion might not go where you want, but if you can see, great! Explosive frag 3, it'll pin and throw people down. There's merit in taking it. It ain't cheap though. 16 points, 20 points, sorry. Needing 5s rather than 4s. I can see the point, but the fusion gun wouldn't be the one I'd essentially go for most of the time. I'd have thought it'd have longer range, but it is what it is. The basic assault enforcers, pretty decent. Thermal mines, can't beat them. And the fusion gun, I'm not seeing much use myself, but hey, I could be wrong, and a lot of times am. Next we have the Pathfinder. Speed of 1-2, range 4, fight of 6, survive 4, no armour, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base, hacker and scout. So the troop option, you've got 2. You've got the tag pistol, which is range 3 with 1 victory point and 12 points, or you've got the tag rifle, which is range 6, 2 victory points and costs 13 points. So the Pathfinders are a lot cheaper than the regular enforcers. 4 points cheaper if you just take the pistol, and 3 points cheaper if you just take the rifle. They've got scouts, so you can give them a bit of mobility before the game begins, which is nice. And hacker's good if you're on missions where you need some sort of objective hacking about, which is good on that. They might be good to take 1 or 2 just for the hacking capabilities, but other than that, unless you're taking a load of them, they're cheap, but only 3 or 4 points cheaper. And then we've got a specialist version, which is got a sniper rifle, range 10, sniper scope, 3 victory points, and worth 20 points. I can somewhat see the point in the Pathfinder Sniper because you've got Scout, so you can move about, get where you need to be a lot sooner, and then set up for sniping advantage. The main downside of the Pathfinders is that their close combat capabilities is pretty poor. Yes, they've got no armour, but basic Marauders haven't got armour, and they do pretty decently. I can see the point of the sniper rifle, and maybe taking 1 or 2 Pathfinders for hacking options, but unless you want to go for mostly Pathfinders in your force, I don't see the point myself. I don't see the point in basic Pathfinders. That's just me. Next we have the Sentry Gun, which has no speed, no fight stat, range of 4, survival 5, no armour, 1 hit point, size 1, 25mm base, construct and remote. It's a troop, comes with a heavy rifle, range 8, rate of fire 1, costs no victory point and 8 points. So it's not cheap. Well, it's half the points of an Enforcer, so I suppose it is cheap. But you do need an engineer to be able to babysit them. Well, take them for the points cost. I suppose if you take a sentry gun, you can then take an engineer, which balances itself out. What's the points cost of an engineer? 25 points if you take a rifle, or 13 points if you take a pistol. It's not cheap, but I suppose for 2nd and 1st edition it kind of works out the same, I guess. Range 8 with weight of fire 1. I suppose if the objectives are near to your deployment zone, or if the objective is to get onto your opponent's deployment zone, they can become really useful. And I suppose if you've got at least 1 engineer, you can just populate with a load of sentry guns, just pop them all over the place and then just set them up, let them do whatever. Which would be fun, I guess. The only downside I can see is for like tournament games where you've still got models but you've got no engineers. What are they going to do? Not much. Not much. I'll tell you what, let's have a look, see what engineer does. Very nice Mantic. I do have to go on the tangent and say splitting the rule book and the force list book is very good. Engineer. The model. Oh no, I'm looking for construct really, aren't I? Where is construct? This model is an artificial creature and as such is immune to the certain keywords. In addition, the model may never be pinned if hit by a weapon that has that effects in addition to pinning, such as blast. The additional effects still apply, so you can't pin sentry guns. It's also got remote, which does a model with this keyword acts under remote control. To take this model into your strike team, at least 1 friendly model with the engineer keyword must be part of the strike team when the game starts. Remote models are deployed with the rest of your strike team and are activated in your turns like any other model. So, okay, if the engineer dies you can still use them. Great. Problem is they can't move, so if your opponent's going around getting objectives and them sentry guns can't see your opponent, they ain't doing anything. And in tournament games, getting victory points is gonna mean you're gonna win when the time goes out, because remember, in 2nd edition, 3rd edition, sorry, gonna get used to that. It's a 5-round game, so yeah, take a few. Sentry guns by all means, but don't take too many because it's going to rack up your points and it's going to be a detriment. Maybe take 2, 3 at most, I'd say. 3 at most. Next we have the Peacekeepers. Speed of 1-2, range of 4, fight of 5, survive of 4, armour of 2, 2 hit points, size 2, 40mm base. Jump pack and solid. So the troop version of the Peacekeepers, you've got 2 options, starting with the Dominator Rifle, which is range 6, weight of fire 1, rapid fire, and an Energy Gauntlet, which is close combat weapon and knockback, and that's worth 3 victory points and 20 points. Or you've got a Wrist Blade and a Dominator Rifle. The Wrist Blade is close combat weapon AP 1. The Dominator Rifle I've just gone over. Worth 3 victory points and 22 points. Out of those, I'd just go for the Dominator Rifle and Wrist Blade. Reason being, you need a bit of AP, and as a troop, nothing wrong with that. The Energy Gauntlet and Dominator Rifle isn't bad, I guess, if you want to shoot and get extra dice. But it's only 2 points more to have that AP, and I'd go for that any day of the week. The specialist options, you've got 1, 2, 3 options, starting with Dominator Rifle, Energy Gauntlet and Defender Shield, which gives the Defender Shield rule. 3 victory points and 24 points. Makes you armour 3 and anyone in the same cube as you, plus 1 armour. So if you have 2 normal enforcers in there, makes them armour 2, which isn't bad. It's not bad, but you can, for your items, take, how many Defender Shields can you take? You can take up to 2. So you can essentially just give a Peacekeeper troop a Defender Shield, and yeah, essentially it's the same thing. Next we have the Burst Laser and Energy Gauntlet option. The Burst Laser is range 8, suppression, weight of fire 1, and an Energy Gauntlet just explained. 3 victory points, 24 points, which is bad. Burst lasers are always good, always good. But a normal Peacekeeper with a burst laser is 6 points less. But you're getting extra armour, and you've got solid, and you've got a close combat weapon of sorts. So I'd go with a normal enforcer with a burst laser over the Peacekeeper with a burst laser, just because it's cheaper and does the same thing. Then we've got an Incinerator, an Energy Gauntlet. Incinerator range 2, it burns, worth 3 victory points and 20 points. I would potentially go for this one over the other specialist options for the Peacekeepers. Reason being is the Energy Gauntlet can knock you back, and you've got the Incinerator. What else could you do? Just burn people, I guess. Just have that reason to push them out of combat, then burn them. You are going to have to use command dice to do that, but you have the option at least. Next we have the Medibot. Speed of 1-2, no range stat, 5-6, survive 5, no armour, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Construct, Defender Shield and Medic. Comes with a Electroshock, which is close combat weapon, stun, 1 victory point, worth 14 points. It's a specialist, by the by. Defender Shield, okay, fine. I mean, how many points is it to give a Defender Shield? I mean, an Enforcer Defender, which we'll get onto, is 18 points, so that's 4 points more, and comes with a Defender Shield. How many points is a normal Defender Shield? 5 points. Okay, makes a normal Enforcer 21 points. I can see the point. It's basically a cheap version of a Enforcer Medic. Stats aren't as good, but the Medibot's just there for defensive purposes. Ain't there for hotels, really. And the model's hard to get hold of, so you're going to have to make your own. that's all I've got to say for the Medibot. I ain't seen anyone use one. Next we have the Dog Drone. Speed of 2-4, range 6, fight of 7, survive of 6, no armour, 2 hit points, size 1, 40mm base. Is a construct hacker. It's a specialist, by the way. Burst laser, range 8, suppression 1 with 1 victory point and 12 points. It's a cheap way to get suppression. It's a very, very cheap way to take suppression. And as a construct, you can't get pinned, so that's always good. That's always good. The stats are horrible though. I'd have it a bit more expensive, like 14 points, and maybe make it range stat 5. Giving it a range stat 6 ain't great, but on the other hand, you got suppression on your side, so I always take a drone just because they're funny and cheap. Next we have the Enforcer Defender. Speed of 1-2, range 4, fight of 5, survive 4. Armor 1, size 2, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Comes with a Defender shield and a jump pack. And its specialist comes with a shotgun, range 3, knockback, 2 victory points, and with 18 points. It's not bad. The Enforcer Defender is not bad. With an armour of 2, the shotgun's not at all that great, but it's good for keeping enemies away from your objectives if you manoeuvre your Enforcer Defender where you need them to be, which is kind of what they're there for. Also, what you could do is have a Peacekeeper near an Enforcer Defender and it'd have a bit more armour. You've also potentially... what else have we got there? Well, I suppose it could help the assault enforcers out, I guess. You've got that. The Enforcer Defenders, mainly there just to pin people, well, ping people around, not pin people, with the shotgun. Other than that, I can see the reason for taking Enforcer Defenders, just for keeping enemies out of your way and out of your objectives. But apart from that, I'm struggling, and they're 2 points more just to have a Defender shield. Yeah. Next we have the Pathfinder Infiltrator. It's a specialist. Speed of 2-5, range of 4, fight of 6, survive of 4, no armour, 2 hit points, size 1, 40mm base. It's a bike and scout, which isn't bad. You get to move around because you're quite nippy. Speed of 2-5, so if you're sprinting, you're moving 5. Well, up to 5. Wow. Sniper rifle, which is range 10, sniper scope, 3 victory points and 22 points. What is the points cost of a normal sniper? It's only 2 points more than a normal Pathfinder sniper. If you want something that's not as big, that's got a bit more mobility vertically, go with the normal Pathfinder sniper. But if you want a Pathfinder sniper that's got a lot of mobility on it, these aren't bad. These aren't bad. Next we have the Enforcer Jet Bike. In 2nd edition it was a vehicle, which is now support. Now it is a specialist. So, speed 2-5, range 4, fight of 6, survive of 4. Armour 1, 2 hit points, size 2, 40mm base. Bike, evade, flight and resilience 1. You've got 3 weapon options. You've got the Dominator rifle, which is range 6, rate of fire 1, rapid fire with 2 victory points and 20 points. You've got the burst laser, which is range 8, suppression, rate of fire 1, 3 victory points and with 22 points. You've then got the missile launcher, which is range 8, AP 5, 3 victory points and 25 points. The Dominator rifle I can kind of get behind because it's the cheapest and still not bad. The burst laser, it's got good range and you've got suppression on it. For only 2 points more. I'd potentially think about taking this one, because the mobility and having suppression always is good. The missile launcher, you've got mobility at taking out armoured target. That's pretty decent. It's the most expensive option, but all of those options are pretty decent. I've seen a few people take jetpacks. The models are fantastic, and they just, yeah, they are really, they're just really good as a harassment unit. Next we have the support. There's only one on page 25. It is the Strider. Speed of 1-2, range of 4, fight of 5, survival 5, armour 3, 5 hit points, size 4, 60mm base. Walker. So you've got 4 options for your Strider. You've got the Urban Assault Strider, which comes with a chainsaw, which is a close combat weapon, AP2, frenzy 1, and Assault Flamer, which is range 3, AP1, it burns. That is 4 victory points and costs 47 points. You've got the Heavy Support Strider, which has a heavy burst laser, which is range 10, with fire 2 and suppression, 4 victory points and 43 points. You've then got the Polaris, the Tank Buster Strider, which comes with the Polaris cannon, range 10, AP4, 4 victory points and 45 points. And finally we've got the Ajax Strider, which comes with a Gravram Spear, which is close combat weapon AP2. Oh, it's got a Gravram Spear range variant. I'd imagine it just pushes it out a bit or fires a short range missile from the spear. That's how I've thought of it anyway. Range 2 AP1, frag explosive 3, and aggressor shield, which defender shield, which makes the Strider armor 4. 5 victory points and 50 points, so it's not cheap. You've also got a Strider option. You can take each Strider can only take one. You can't have them with both. Either smoke launchers, which is range 3, grenade smoke 1 use, and that's plus 3 points. You've also got the shoulder rockets, which is range 3, grenade frag 3, 1 use, and an extra 6 points. I've never seen anyone take an Urban Assault Strider for the Enforcers, and for good reason. They have got pretty decent close combat options. It's only AP2 Frenzy 1, and the claws do that as well for a lot less points. Yes, it isn't as big, hasn't got as much health or armour, but it's a bit more accurate for hitting, and ain't the cheapest either. No. The Burst Laser Strider, I've seen people take that and it does fairly well. Polaris Cannon, no one seems to take that. I'm assuming it's because there's other anti-armor options, but then again it's AP4, so okay, fine. And then we've got the Ajax Strider, which when it came out a lot of people took. I can see the point of it, but the problem is it's trying to be a jack of all trades, and in some case, okay, it kind of is. But if you want a close combat Strider, you go for the Assault, Urban Assault version. If you want a ranged Strider, you go for the Tank Buster or Heavy Support versions. The only real upside of it is it's got 4 armour. The Ajax Strider's not bad, but compared to the other 3, sorry, it's a bit, nah. It's not going to be shot down anytime soon, but neither is it going to do all that much. The options, nah, the 1 use, the smoke's alright, but the frag, I mean, if you want to go frag, you might as well take the Ajax Strider, in all honest. I mean, apart from the heavy burst laser, it brings them all over 50 points. So you might as well just go for the Ajax Strider if you want the shoulder rockets. Yeah, you might as well. It's only one less range, and it does basically the same thing, and has a close combat weapon. No brainer. Next we have the Living Legends, starting on page 26. Starting with Forward Observer. Speed of 1-2, range 4, fight 5, survive 3, armor 1, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Comes with Communications Relay, Hacker, Jump Pack, Scout and Tactician 1. There's 3 weapons it comes with. Laser Rifle, which is range 6 rapid fire. Grenade Launcher, which is range 5, indirect frag 3. And the Ninja Gauntlet, which is close combat weapon, knockback. Worth 3 victory points and 28 points. I suppose it's good you've got an Enforcer Sergeant with a Grenade Launcher, I guess, and Communications Relay and Hacker. Surviving on 3s, no less. How many points is a Enforcer Sergeant? 2 points cheaper, okay. Okay. And fight stat isn't as good. I can see the point. You've got a Grenade Launcher, you've got Communications Relay and Hacker. Okay, you've got that. And you survive on 3s, which, come on, nothing wrong with that. Plus, if you lose your leader, at least you're still keeping your tactician options, which isn't bad. Next we have ES345 Monarch. Speed of 1-2, range 4, fighter to 5, survive 4. 1 armor, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Energy shields 2, jump pack, scout and tactician. Comes with a Gedling Bullpup, which is range 5, AP 1, weight 5, 2. 3 victory points and 28 points. The Monarch is more there to just get into medium range and just mow people down. It's kind of what she's there for. She got Tactician and she got Energy Shield, so you've got that. She's not bad. I would cautiously recommend the Monarch. I'd slightly recommend it over the Forward Observer. Next we have Lieutenant Commander Rocker. Speed of 1-2, range of 4, fight 5, survive 4, arm 1, 2 hit points, size 1, 25mm base. Jump pack, scout and tactician 2. Comes with a sniper rifle, which is range 10, sniper scope, 4 victory points and 38 points. So it's 10 points more than the other 2. Ooh. You've got tactician 2, so even if you take a Enforcer Sergeant, you are getting 2 extra command dice on the sniper, which is brilliant. You've got scout, so you can move about. You've got that. Honestly, Monarch's better overall, but just for those extra tacticians, Lieutenant Commander Rocket is worth considering. And finally we have Sergeant Howlett. Speed of 1-2, range of 5, fight of 4, survive of 3, 1 armor, 2 hit points, size 1. Frenzy 1, jump pack and tough. Comes with phase claws and a pistol. The phase claws are a close combat weapon, AP2, frenzy 1, and the pistol is range 3. He's worth 3 victory points and 30 points. Honestly, I thought it'd be faster, but hey ho. Frenzy 2, a jump pack, tough surviving on 3s. That is just crazy talk. If you want a really good close combat enforcer, he is your man. He ain't cheap by any stretch of the imagination. It's about twice the points costs of a normal assault enforcer. But if you want someone who can get the job done potentially in one turn, yeah. Oh god, yeah. I'd honestly say he's the best, with Monarch close second, and then probably Commander Rocker, and the Forbes Observer fighting it out for 3rd and 4th place. So then we have the items on page 27. Ammo is worth 2 points, can have as many as you want. AP ammo is 4 points, can only have 4 of them. Defender shield is 5 points, you can only have 2 of them. Frag grenade, frag 3 is 6 points, you can have as many as you want. Smoke grenades are 3 points, you can have as many of them as you want. Stun grenades are 4 points, you can only have 1. And med pack is 4 points, you can only have 1. They've got great close combat options, they've got great ranged options, really good ranged options. They've got a fair few AP tricks up their sleeve, but that is and always has been their downside. Not as much as it used to be, but they haven't got that many armour piercing weapons, and that is going to be their downside. If you're against a force with high armour, it's not going to be doing much use for you. Unless you take a load of assaulting forces, then job sort of done, I guess, but you haven't got as many good ranged weapons, so swings and roundabouts, I guess. Your main issue otherwise is you're not cheap points wise. Factions such as the Vermin and the Plague will run rings around you because they're going to have a hell of a lot more models. Also the GCPS are going to have a hell of a lot more models. But the Enforcers are a good faction to start with. They're easy to build, you know what you're looking at, and they come with one of the iconic units in a Strider, one of the more accurate Striders no less. So yeah, they are a bendable but not breakable army. They can keep going and be pushed and pushed and pushed as much as you want, really. Just remember, if you're against something with heavy armour, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. So, that's it for this video. Goodbye for now.